the scale compute efforts, connectivity, although there's various ways that they could try to get there. But there's lots of paths. And like that, it's not just, it's not just whoever builds the largest model, that's the end, the one all and end all and be all. There's some utility to the largest model in various ways. But I think there's just tons of things going on. I think there's like part of like, it was like, look at Deepseek and think of that as a notion of interesting hopefulness, because, Deepseek clearly had some distillation, clearly had, I don't know what the full story and the creation of, but as you know, when you ask the early version of Deepseek, who are you? It says, I'm ChatGPT, because that's a clear sign of a distillation process leading to getting there. Well, but that also means that that's the kind of thing that Europe can do too. Like it isn't like Deepseek was uniquely Chinese and was the only kind of thing that China could do. Now, not to go back and kick the GDPR horse again, but again, like it's kind of like
I will get my EU citizenship revoked after this podcast.
Yes, exactly. So, but like it's like, well, maybe they couldn't do it there because of the GDPR and the AI Act regulation. And it's like, well, but actually, in fact, being able to make something like Deepseek is actually, in fact, useful. I would love to see, a French version, a German version, a British version, a Polish version. I would love to see all of these things happen. I'd love to see them collaborating on singular versions as well. And I think that we are better off both as Americans and as humanists if Europe is developing in the game, not just kind of trying to kind of play the referee, but also on the pitch.
Okay, so how is your view? Like, this makes perfect sense. And as a European, again, I completely resonate with it. This is similar to a message I send each time I go back. Let's see, this is TBD, what will happen. I think there is talent and there is some will to do something there. But now what about China? So how do you think, there's definitely like the DeepSeek releases that definitely like propped up the view that China is really serious about AI, in a good position to be in the race for leadership in AI. So what do you expect to unfold there next?
So I think there is. I mean, a few years back, China announced that it wanted to have AI leadership by 2030. That's not too many years in the future. And I think that we should take that seriously. I think it's I've learned a bunch from not just Chinese entrepreneurs and technologists and inventors, but also the way they run their companies, and also certain things from the government. I mean, all the things we should be learning from that, because they are smart, driven, capable and interesting people. And the principal reason why, I advocate for what I call the Western democracy stance is kind of being multipolar. It's like, we're actually like, why I like capitalism. We're both in the same society together. Why I like democracy. We're both in the same society together. I also want that kind of multipolarity between a variety of nations that kind of share a set of values. And I think that the challenge that I have is the Chinese Communist Party tends to say, we're a democracy. We had one election ever. It's like, well, that's not what a democracy is. It's a ongoing enfranchisement of the people, where the leaders are held accountable to the people's ability to vote them out as an instance. And I think that's an important part of that multipolarity, and that's the reason why I'm kind of a strong advocate of Western democracies and the kinds of value systems that we have, and not just the U.S., but U.S. is one of them, being kind of one of the AI or a primary AI leader in this. And but this is again part of the thing of where say, well, look, that's not just because if you adopt a America only posture, that actually hurts our ability to do that, right? It's actually, in fact, working with Europe, working with Canada, working with the other, like working with Japan, working with a number of these other countries, and being multipolar about this, even in an American leadership position, is I think